Hey y'all, it's Michal. In this flow, we're gonna really get to know our Warrior One and hopefully fall a little bit more in love with it. For this practice, all you'll need is one block and a comfortable place to put down a mat or maybe be on a carpeted area. And with that, get your props, set them aside, and I'll meet you in a hero's pose. For me, hero's pose is one of those shapes that changes every single day. Some days I'm comfortable seated on my heels, some days I need a brick, some days I need two. So wherever you are with that today, you'll set yourself up seated over top your heels in a comfortable enough shape. Today I'm gonna use one brick between my ankles on the lowest setting. Know that you could put it on the second setting or set yourself up with two if one simply isn't enough. Start to land by rocking from side to side, putting weight from one sit bone into the other, and just start to root through those pointed parts of your bum, your sit bones. Let your hands land in your lap. Level off your chin with the floor, and either choose to close your eyes or shift your gaze downward to the floor, loose and unfocused. Rock your weight a little bit back towards the tail, and then a little bit forward towards the pubis. And notice how you'll find that kind of tall point of your sit bones as you rock back and forward. Stay at that tall point and then lean a little bit forward towards the pubic bone. Lean your shoulders back so that they stack over top your tail and you're really plugging down through the four parts of your pelvis, right, left, front, and back. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. And trace an imaginary golden thread that starts down from under the earth, just underneath your tail. It traces up the tailbone through the back of the spine, up the back of your skull, and all the way up to the heavens. And feeling that golden thread kind of support the back body here so that you can lengthen and keep the front side body soft and open. Close your mouth and direct your breath in through your nose. Trace up the back body. And then as you exhale, feel a softness water down the front body. Inhale, you'll rise up your back body like you see a flame rising as it ignites and is fed. Then exhale, you can image in your mind a waterfall rushing down the front of your body. Inhale, follow the heat rise up the back body. Exhale, wash the water down your front body. Beautiful. Drop your mind into the center of your pelvis, into the center of your body. Image in your mind a marble. And with your inhale, the marble will rise up through the center of your body, through the center of your ribs, the center of your heart, the center of your mouth, and out the crown of your head. And with your exhale, watch that marble go down a spiral slide around the circumference of your body. Inhale, trace the center of your body. Exhale, trace the circumference of your body. Try that 2 more times. Inhale, find your center. Exhale, find your circumference. 1 more time. Go ahead. Drop your chin down towards your chest. Let your head rock from side to side. When you're even, rock your head back through the center. If you're familiar with Kapalabhati breathing, breath work, just indulge me for a moment while I explain to those who might not have done this before. If you haven't, you can flutter your eyes open. Breath of fire, Kapalabhati, is a forceful exhale. Everything will happen through the nose, and the inhale comes naturally. So we'll use our abdomen to force the air out of the lungs by snapping the belly in. And then as you relax the abdomen, the air will naturally flow back into your lungs because of the pressure system that is created there. So it'll sound and look like and then we'll really start to speed it up to find that fiery part of the breath of fire. So you can keep your hands in your lap and close your eyes, and we'll begin by breathing all of the air out, SH. Inhale halfway through your nose. Keep the mouth closed and begin. And you'll continue to pump the air and feeling this rhythm that you're creating with your belly snapping in. Notice what shows up in that snapping. There might come a point where you feel a little bit tired and the rhythm that you've created doesn't quite work with what you can keep up with today. So I invite you to just find a pace that feels sustainable for the next 30 or so counts. Continue to pump and pump and pump, and notice the connection of the muscles of your abdomen to the rhythm of your breath moving out, and how much of that rhythm is connected at the center of your body. How much of that is really primal and within your power. Here for another 10 counts, pumping 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big breath in, sweep the arms overhead, hook the thumbs, take 3 sips through the mouth, 1 sniff through the nose. Belly in, chin down, hold the air full. Release, hands in your lap. Breath in through your nose, out the nose. When your breath is regulated, flutter your eyes open, make fists with your hands, and bring your arms into a W or V shape, like goalposts essentially. And we'll do Bhastrika breath. It'll be a forceful inhale and a forceful exhale, and it'll go with a movement. The inhale will arch your spine, elbows pull down and back, chest lifts up. Exhale, fist bump yourself in front of your chest and round your spine. And it can happen all through your nose or through your mouth. Inhale and exhale. Similar to our Kapalabhati, we'll start to play with rhythm and speed here, going in, out, and continue to pump the breath. And really kind of shake off the cobwebs of whatever you've kind of been doing the last week, the last several days. Get the upper body moving and really get the front body moving. Your heart moving out in front of you, your pelvis rocking forward and back, and really trying to light a flame in the base of your pelvis, just like when you would take a match to that kind of matchstick and light and strike your own fire here. Here for another 10 counts. In. Here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big breath in, sweep the arms up, hook the thumbs, spread the fingers wide, 3 sips, 1 sniff. Air in. Release. Breath in, breath out. Blink your eyes open, ditch your block, come into a seat in the center of your mat. Kick your feet towards the top of the mat. Plant your palms back behind you, fingertips out to the sides, and you'll take your right ankle, cross it over top of your left thigh, seated figure 4. If you need to use your hand to kind of get your foot in position, go for it. Rock your knees from side to side. This always feels really good for me after I've been seated in a car for a while, opening up the pelvis. Next time you pass through the center, pause there, walk your hands in closer, push your right thigh away, lift your spine up. You might tent up onto your fingertips. Breathe in, lengthen spine. Exhale and sit into it more. Find that golden thread at your back body. Tail, ribs, shoulders, back of the skull. One more big breath here. Go ahead, lean the weight back into your palms. Fingertips stay out to the side. Reverse tabletop. Put your feet down, press your hips up. Take a big breath in through your nose. Stay for your exhale. You might rock a little bit forward and back. First moment here, saying hello to the shoulders, the ankles. If it feels cool with your neck, your head could drop back. Beautiful. Take a seat down onto the floor. Take your left ankle, cross it over top your right thigh. And start to rock your knees from side to side. Once you've gotten a few shakes in, we'll pause back in the center and sit up tall again, rolling towards the tallest point of the sitting bones and finding that extra length with your breath. Inhale, you lengthen your heart up. Exhale, you lean into it. One more like that. Lean your weight back into your palms, uncross your ankle. This time, fingertips will face your hips. Reverse tabletop. Press your hips up and really squeeze your bum this time. Big breath in through the nose. Stick your tongue out, lion's breath. One more like that. Big breath in. Good, let that go. Hips down, cross your shins, find a tabletop, hands and knees. Come all the way over top of your crossed shins and start just by shaking your tabletop out in any way that feels interesting. For me, it's usually a shake of my bum side to side, cinching through the side body. There might be some barrel rolls through the ribs, maybe a little rock forward and back. If you'd like to just engage in some cat-cows, you're welcome to. If you're interested in just wiggling in whatever way that feels intuitive and good, the next 5 breaths are yours to do that for yourself. Continue to move the breath as well as the body. Meet me in a neutral tabletop. Take your fingertips and spin them all the way around so that they face your knees. Your hands will come in about 2 inches closer so that the heels of the hands are stacked underneath your shoulders. Soft bend in the elbows, rock forward and back, rock side to side. And turn that into a big circle of your shoulders over top your wrists. Take that circle in both directions. Plenty good. Rotate your fingertips back forward. Tuck your toes on the mat. Hover your knees off of the mat. Rock your weight into your left hand. And then try to get light through your right palm. You might lift the heel of the hand. You might lift the whole palm up. Transfer the right hand down. Shift the shoulders forward. Stay forward with the shoulders and then rock to the right. Left palm starts to lift, maybe the whole hand. Plant that hand down. Drop your knees to the floor, arch your spine, breathe in. Exhale, round your spine. Really nice. Walk your hands forward, one hand print. Kick your legs back, straight into a plank pose. Rock forward with an inhale. Rock back to the balls of the feet. Exhale, keep the hips low. One more like that. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Gorgeous. Come to that neutral plank pose. Float your right foot up by rocking your weight to your left palm. Maybe your heel lifts a little higher as your hips stay in line with the shoulders approximately. And drop the ball of the right foot down, float the left foot up, take a breath in. Stay for the exhale, stay forward with the shoulders, you got it. Another inhale. Good, drop the ball of the foot down, find a brief child's pose, knees down. Maybe your forehead meets the ground. 2 big breaths. Roll yourself up into a seat on your heels, zip your thighs together to touch, interlace your hands at your low back. Reach your knuckles down and lift your heart up. Take a breath in. Stay for the exhale. Maybe dip into your back bend more. Another breath in. And a breath out. Sweep the arms up towards the ceiling, hands towards the top of the mat. Take your right foot, step it out to the right, about in line with your hip. So rather than forward, keep your foot in line with your hip. Rotate the toes out to the side and spin your hips in a big old circle. And don't be afraid to really sit back towards your left heel. Go the other direction with the pelvis. Really good stuff. We're gonna take a seat on both shins. Bring your right shin underneath you. Sit back onto your heels. Sweep your arms up to the ceiling. Breathe in. Cactus your arms into a W-shaped back bend. Inhale, lengthen up, pull your ribs in and down. Exhale, arch your ribs forward and up. Inhale, reach up. Last time here, exhale, back bend. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, back to tabletop. Take your left foot, plant it out to the left, heel in, toes out, and your foot's in line with your hip. And just start those big circles. Right now, it's not about really doing something in a beautiful or an aesthetic way, but we're just starting to get into the body. Take it the other direction. I like to think of myself kind of as some kind of creature or insect every time I do this. And then when you embody that archetype, I think it makes it a little bit more interesting to explore the edges. Good stuff. Come back into your tabletop, kick your legs back to plank pose. Your plank is your perfect measure for your downward facing dog. So as you're here, I'll invite you to keep your shoulders over top your wrists, your heels over top the balls of your feet, and then don't move them. Downward facing dog, soft bend in the knees. Heels can stay hovering if they lengthen towards the ground, and your knees can stay a little bit bent so your pelvis tips up towards the ceiling. That's perfect. Take a breath in, lengthen the spine, push more through the palms. Exhale, feel that wash down the backs of your legs as you heavy your heels. Try that one more time. Feel the heat rise through the back body. Exhale, let it wash down the backs of the legs. Straighten the legs, come forward to plank, breathe in. Bend the knees, go back into dog, breathe out. Inhale, plank. Exhale, dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, dog. One more like this. Inhale, plank. Exhale to dog. Good work. Walk your hands backwards towards your feet. Take a forward fold at the back of your mat. At least 2 fists between the inner arches of the feet, maybe wider, and let yourself dangle. 5 big breaths. I like to catch opposite elbows and sway. If you've got something else in your repertoire that's really yummy for you, go for it. Rock your weight into your heels. Release your arms if they're connected. Rounded spine to take you up to stand. Chin to your chest. Roll to rise up. Sweep the arms up and overhead. Press the palms together. Drag them to the center of your chest. Thumbs against your sternum. Breathe in, lengthen the back body. Breathe out, heavy your feet against the floor. If you like to show up to practice with an intention, you can think of that word or phrase now. I think that one of the biggest things that makes yoga distinct is the mindfulness in which we can engage in this practice. And we can do it. We don't necessarily always, but we have access to it. So if you'd like to be mindful about your movement, take 2 more breaths with it. On your next breath in, reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Cactus your arms into a W. Lean your hips forward, pull your elbows down and back. On your next inhale, reach your arms up to the ceiling. Exhale, pull the elbows down and back, gentle back bend. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, dive forward, forward fold. Let yourself hang. Sorry, I have to do that over again. This is all. Hopefully last time. On your next inhale, stretch your arms up to the ceiling. Exhale, cactus the elbows, gentle back bend, hips forward. Inhale, reach up, lengthen. Exhale, hands to hips, bend your knees, dive down and fold over your legs. Halfway lift, lengthen your spine forward, slide your hands up your shins, drag your heels apart, pull your shoulder blades together, and think that you could look down in front of your toes about 2 feet. Release and do a forward fold. Walk your hands out and find a plank pose. Take a full breath in here. Exhale, downward facing dog. Kick your right leg up and back, stack the hip open. Play with some movement. You might notice your knee joint, your toes. You might notice the joint of your hip. Anything that you want to play with in that right leg, become more aware of it. On your inhale, stretch it back. Exhale, step your right foot wide outside your right hand. Take a breath in and look forward. Take a breath out and sink your hips deep. Inhale here. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale your left leg high. Start to notice that leg. All the ways in which you played with your right leg, you might do something similar on this side. Breath in, lengthen your left leg back. Breath out, step your left foot wide outside your left hand. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, heavy pelvis. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg up and back. Exhale, step your right foot wide outside your right hand. This time, inhale your right arm up to the ceiling. Exhale, lengthen your back leg even more. Sit lower in the hips. Inhale, twist back up to the ceiling even more. Exhale, hand forward and down, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, step it wide. Inhale, left arm up to the ceiling. Stay here for the exhale, twist into it. Breathe in. Exhale, paint the arm forward and down, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Inhale your right leg up and back. Exhale your right knee to your right tricep. Give it a tap. Inhale, sweep it up to the ceiling. Exhale your right foot by your right thumb and pause. Take a look at your left foot. Bring your left toes wide to the left side of your mat and drop the heel down to the floor so your foot's at a 45-degree angle. Take your left hand to your left hip and your right hand to your right hip and rise up into a warrior one. Sweep the arms up. Breathe in. On your exhale, reach down, hug your right thigh. Inhale, sweep back up to the ceiling. Exhale, reach down, hug your right thigh, power through the legs, rise up. Inhale. One more like this. Exhale, reach down, give it a squeeze. Inhale, rise up. Go ahead, pause here. Take a cycle of breath in. Sit into the hips, take a cycle of breath out. Beautiful. Interlace your hands behind your low back, punch the knuckles away, straighten through your front leg, lift your heart, maybe your gaze. On your exhale, just look forward. Bend your front knee, hands to your hips, step forward to a chair pose, top of the mat. Feet can stay hips width distance, hands could stay at your hips. Prayer at the center of your chest or arms overhead. Your choice. One variation will feel best in your body. It might be the challenge that you need today. Inhale, shoulders back. Exhale, hips low. Inhale, rise up to stand, reach up and back. Exhale, dive forward and down, release over your two legs. Breath here. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Forward fold, release. Plant your hands to the ground, step back to an upper push-up plank pose. Take a breath in. Exhale, tap your knees down to the floor. Lower your chest all the way down to the mat. Lift your heart, cobra. Press the outer edges of your feet into the ground. Lengthen and lower down. Slide your hands back one handprint and lift up again. Really find this feeling that you drag the ground towards you and stretch your belly forward like it's made of taffy. Lengthen and lower down. Palms under your shoulders, a downward facing dog. Press your hips high up and back. On your breath in, lengthen your left leg up to the ceiling. On your breath out, knee to left tricep. Just try it. Inhale, kick it high. Exhale, left foot by your left thumb and pause. Set up your right foot. Look at your right toes. Bring them to the right side of your mat. Drop your heel at a 45-degree angle. Right hand to your right hip. Left hand to your left hip and rise. Arms overhead, warrior one. Breathe in. Exhale, hug your left thigh. Sweep down, give it a squeeze. Inhale, rise back up. Power through the heels. Exhale, reach down, hug. Inhale, find length up to the ceiling. Last one here. Exhale, reach down. Inhale, rise back up. Pause at the top. Breath in and breath out. Good. Interlace the hands behind you. Straighten through the front leg. Lean your heart back. Chest a little bit up. Beautiful. On your exhale, look forward. Bend the front knee, hands to your hips, step to your chair pose. Arms might come overhead. Take a breath in, lift your heart. Take a breath out, deepen your seat. Rise up to stand, reach up and back. Exhale, forward and down, forward fold. Breath at the bottom. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release. Hands to the mat, step back to plank pose. Your choice here to keep your knees lifted or lower them down. Lower halfway or all the way. Your choice. If you're lowering halfway, elbows touch your ribs. Inhale, lift your heart, either a baby cobra or an upward facing dog. Downward facing dog, hips up and back. Big breath in through the nose. Long breath out the mouth. One more time like that. Big breath in through the nose. Long breath out the mouth. Right leg sweeps high up and back behind you. Step your right foot by your right thumb. Set up your warrior one like you know how. Hands to your hips and rise. Sweep the arms overhead at the top. This time, interlace your hands at your low back. Keep your front knee deeply bent. Punch the knuckles down the back thigh. Lift your chest. Inhale. Exhale, humble warrior. Torso dives down. Arms come overhead, but you'll keep the palms connected.
Think shoulder to right inner knee, and then your right outer hip reaches towards your left heel. So your bum steers to the left side of your mat so that your head drops towards the inside of your right foot. Let your head drop lower. One more breath. Release the arms, wide-legged forward fold. All 10 toes spin to the left side of the mat. Bring your heels in one line. That might take a little bit of movement. From here, you could just hang, catching opposite elbows, maybe letting your torso swing, or you can lunge from side to side. You've got 5 big breaths to play with the shape as you'd like to. Spin into a low lunge. Hands frame your right foot, top of the mat. Plug down through your left palm, peel your right arm up, revolve, low lunge. Take a breath in. Stay here for the exhale. Gorgeous. From here, you'll step back into a side plank. Your right hand might stay lifted for an extra challenge. You can always reach it to the ground and step your right foot back for a little bit of more extra support. Staying here or dropping your left shin to the ground for a modification. If you'd like to add some extra strength, right arm reaches overhead, lift the right leg. Take a breath in. Exhale the hand down, move through a vinyasa, or just meet me in a downward facing dog. Regulate your breath. In through your nose, maybe out your nose. Left leg kicks high. Step it through by your left thumb. Set up your warrior one. Hands to your hips to rise. Arms overhead. Inhale. Stay for your exhale. Interlace your hands at your low back. Front knee stays bent. Lift your chest. Exhale to humble warrior. Dive the torso down. Relax the back of the neck. Crown of the head reaches to the floor. How low can you go? And how high can you lift the arch of your right foot? Really squeeze the pinky side edge of your back foot into the floor. Release the arms, spin all 10 toes to the right side, straddle forward fold. Option to deepen your fold by walking your palms in between your feet, fingertips face the same way as toes, bend the elbows, try to see your butt. Uncurl yourself from your deep fold. Low lunge to the top of the mat, hands frame your left foot. Left arm peels up. Revolve low lunge, breathe in. Stay for your exhale. We're taking that side plank on the right hand. You can always drop this left hand for support or simply step it back, side plank. If you took a variation, play with your variation here. Try not to knock yourself over, but if you do, it's a part of the learning process. We learn best through failure. Take a breath in. Exhale the top arm down, vinyasa or dog. I don't know about you, but every time I'm succeeding at something, I'm like, oh, cool, that was fun, but I don't know if I learned much. But maybe you just have a good time, and maybe that's what you're here for today, and that's beautiful. Walk your hands backwards towards your feet. Take a forward fold at the back of your mat, and then step your feet as wide as your mat for your primal squat. Heels in, toes out, malasana. You can always take your block, sit on top of it if your heels just aren't making it down to the floor today. But know that you can always step your feet wider. You're welcome to stay here and get comfortable and kind of a little wiggle in your primal squat. If you'd like to play with an inversion, your hands will come down to the ground, shoulders width distance apart. Point your toes to face your wrists. Hug your elbows towards each other, and then puff up your back body towards the ceiling like someone's punching you in the front of the ribs. Really lean forward, keep the elbows bent, and then you might just kind of hang out here in this moment, feeling that gut punch, puffing up the back body, sliding the shoulder blades apart, rock to your heels. And you can try this a few times, rocking forward, feeling what it's like to bear the weight of your body on your arms, rocking back. If you feel like you want to take flight, you lean forward, and you try maybe one foot at a time, curling the heel into your butt. Give yourself a few moments. If you did a lot on your hands, take 2 breaths. Gorgeous. Rise up to stand, arms up, inhale. Exhale, hands to your low back.
Press your palms into your low back, hanging back bend, elbows hug back, hips go forward, chest lifts up. Breath in and out. Good, one more here. Rise up to stand, inhale. Mountain pose, arms down by your sides. Gorgeous. We're gonna get into our third flow here from the back of the mat. So, stand onto your left leg, actually, while we're here, let's rotate the left foot slightly. So heel in, toes out. So you've got a 45-degree angle in your left foot. Step your right foot forward for warrior one. Bend into the knee, ground both of your heels. Interlace your hands at your low back. If you can't quite do this today, you can always have your palms facing forward and hands to frame your hips. Punch your knuckles down, lift your chest, keep the front knee bent, breathe in. With your exhale, find a power lunge. Bring your chest forward 45 degrees over your front thigh and then lift your back heel off of the mat. Feel the weight pour into your front leg. Keep your chest lifted and your vision forward out in front of you. Bounce your back foot in until you can take flight onto your right leg for a warrior three. Know that you can always change your hand position. Try to keep your pelvis level to the floor and your thumbs lifting away from your low back. Take a breath in. On your exhale, step to a chair pose, top of the mat. Arms sweep up towards the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, stay here. Gorgeous. Rise up to stand. Inhale your arms up. Lift your right knee in towards your chest. You're standing on your left leg now. Figure four chair. Take your right ankle over your left thigh. Hands can come to a prayer. You might take your hands under your front shin. Give it a nice shove. If balance feels funky, you can reach for a wall nearby you or start to reach for your block and lower yourself down towards your ankle. Some of you might start to reach to the floor or take a little balance, holding your hands around your ankle. Take 2 more breaths in it. Good. Sit your butt low, draw your vision forward, get your block out of your way, and then rise back up. Right knee towards you. If you can, interlace your hands around the front of the shin or back of the thigh. Give it a nice squeeze up towards you. Go ahead and release that foot down. Sweep the arms up to the ceiling. Breathe in. Exhale, dive forward, forward fold. Halfway lift and lengthen. Forward fold, release. Hands to the mat. Step or hop your legs back. Move through a vinyasa or simply meet us in a dog. Big breath in. Long breath out. Walk your hands backwards towards your feet. Malasana squat back of the mat. Heels in, toes out. A little bit swifter this time. Take a breath in. Stay for your exhale. Rise up to stand. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hanging back bend. Hands to your low back. Parallel your feet. Dip your chest back. Take a cycle of breath in. Cycle of breath out. Inhale, rise back up to stand. Exhale, mountain pose, arms down by your sides. Find that slight angle of your right foot, so 45 degrees, heel in, toes out, and step your left foot forward, warrior one. Ground through the legs, sweep the arms up, find your stability through your vision. Interlace your hands at your low back, keep the front knee bent, lift the chest, breathe in. Power lunge, bring your chest forward 45 degrees, not too low. So belly and thighs stay disconnected. Lift the back heel. Still feel this levity here. Pull your belly in, ribs in. Keep the thumbs lifting away from the low back and bounce your back foot in until you can balance on your left leg. There might be a little bit of hot potato action with your back foot until you feel like you got it, and then really lift the back heel in order to tip the chest forward. Find that same lift through the thumbs so that you keep the chest lifting away from the ground and you don't topple over. Taking another breath in and a breath out. Last inhale here. Go ahead, step to your chair pose, top of the mat. Sweep the arms up, breathe in. Exhale to stay, rise up to stand. Bring your left knee towards you, stand on your right leg. Figure four chair, ankle over the thigh, sitting nice and low through the pelvis, lean the shoulders back. Any variation, start to move in the direction that you did on the other side. Reverse the motion, sit your butt low, draw your vision forward, rise back up to stand. Bring your left knee towards you, hands on the front of the shin, lift the knee towards your chest. Release the leg to the ground, sweep the arms up, reach up and back. Exhale, forward and down, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, forward fold, release, hands to the mat, vinyasa or downward facing dog. I'll meet you there. Good. Kick your right leg up and back behind you. Lunge your right foot by your right thumb and take flight into a warrior three. Hands might come to a prayer center of your chest or sweep back to frame your hips. Find that steadiness and balance here. And then identify the left hand in your body. Sweep that arm overhead. A big helicopter of this arm, thumb will reach up and back, warrior two, land in that shape. Take a breath in, sit low on your breath out. Good, we're gonna tip into a balancing half moon. Your left hand will find your left hip. You'll reach forward, find your block or the floor outside your right foot and take flight onto your right leg, balancing half moon. Maybe your arm comes up to the ceiling. Maybe your vision goes out to the left. From here, two things are gonna happen at once. We're gonna step back for triangle pose. You'll land your left foot to the back of your mat and then slide your right hand in, straightening through both of the legs, bumping the hips back, turning the vision up towards your left thumb. Big breath in. Maybe sink deeper with the right hand, exhale. One more inhale here. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down, downward facing dog. One last vinyasa if you'd like to take it here. Good. Left leg high. Step it through by your left thumb. Take flight into your warrior three, your arm variation. Find that steady vision with the eyes. And notice how when you steady the eyes, your mind is a little bit quieter to notice the calculations that your body is making to stay here. Identify your right arm, reach it overhead. Big sweep of that arm back and your left arm forward, warrior two. Take a breath in. Sit into it. Really take up space with the lower body. Right hand to your right hip. Draw your vision forward in front of your left toes. Identify where your block is. Bring it to the appropriate place. I like a foot in front of my left toes to the pinky side edge of the foot. And take flight onto your left leg for balancing half moon. Know that that block can always kind of slide into a different position to recalculate once you arrive. Really flex your right foot, pinky side edge of the foot to the ceiling. Two things happen at once, just like in life. Step back to your triangle pose. Right foot steps back, left hand slides in, draw your vision to the ceiling, breathe in. Maybe you sit lower in it, breathe out. Another inhale and an exhale. Go ahead, cartwheel your hands down to the mat. Step back to a downward facing dog. Sweep your right leg high. Weave it through for a half pigeon. Right knee behind your right wrist, lengthen your back leg away, tap the knee and foot to the floor, lift your heart. You might tent your fingertips, walk your hands wider, potentially reach your arms back or overhead. For me today, my hands are gonna stay on the floor. Take a breath in and lengthen towards the mat. Elbows might come down. You might use a block at an angle underneath your sternum. Chin can rest on the block, or just a block underneath the forehead. Curl your hands in underneath you. Down dog split, tuck the back toes, kick your right leg up. Step your right foot wide outside your right hand, release your back knee down to the mat and sweep your right arm to the back of the room or at least back behind you. Kick your back heel in, maybe reach back and touch your foot. If you and your foot can't connect, just keep reaching and opening up your chest. One more breath here. On your exhale, release your back leg, lizard lunge, elbows might meet the mat, or you might use your block underneath you to find some extra support. If your foot didn't quite make it forward, try to align your heel somewhere underneath your knee. You can inchworm it forward.
Crawl your hands back to the floor underneath your shoulders. Step back to a downward facing dog. Kick your left leg up towards the ceiling with your inhale. Weave it through for half pigeon, exhale. Lift your chest up, lengthen your back leg nice and long away from you. And start to find that sensation of back bend. It's pelvis reaching forward and down, heart reaching forward and up. Arm variations are yours to take here. 2 more breaths. And drop the chest towards the ground. Any prop that you want to use, bring it in. Walk your hands in, float your chest up, down dog split. Lift your back knee, sweep your left leg up, breathe in. Step your left foot wide, release your back knee to the mat and sweep your left arm all the way back behind you. You might stay here, you might kick your back foot in, make contact. Let your pelvis reach down towards the ground as you lean your left shoulder back and open. Release your back foot with intention, elbows or palms to the ground on the inside of your left foot for lizard. Walk your palms to the ground. Step back to dog. This will be your chance to take a last vinyasa if you'd like it. Tap your knees down to the floor, sweep your legs out in front of you, and find a butterfly. Bring the soles of your feet together to touch. Catch your shins or your ankles, lift your heart up. Reach forward with your heart. When you can't go forward anymore, then go down. Drop your head. Rise up into a seat, bring your bum to the center of your mat, kick your legs long towards the top of your mat, roll yourself all the way down onto your back. Hug your right knee into your chest when you arrive, and then bring it wide outside the ribs. Inhale, lengthen your left leg on the mat. Exhale, hug your right knee closer to your armpit. Really squeeze the air out of your lungs. Take a breath in. And your exhale, right knee across the body. Scoot your left hip backwards and make your pelvis perpendicular to the mat. Right arm reaches wide, look over the shoulder. If you don't have space for a T, you can always make a W shape with your arms. Bring your right knee in towards you, roll to your back, plant both feet down and take a hip bridge, lift your pelvis up, tuck your tail, breath in. Roll to your back, hug your left knee in, right leg long. Bring the knee nice and wide, lengthen your right leg on the floor, inhale. Exhale, squeeze the knee into your ribs. Inhale, fill the belly. Exhale, twist it across your body, pull your right hip back, and draw yourself in 2 directions at once. Left arm to the left, left knee to the right. Return to your back. Plant both feet down to the floor. You're welcome to take another hip bridge here if you'd like to practice a wheel pose. Be sure you don't get your hair underneath your hands. And then plant your palms to the floor just above your shoulders with your fingertips towards them. Elbows to the ceiling. You might lift to the crown of your head to start, and then lift up, finding your wheel. Taking a few breaths there. Let the exit be deliberate. Set yourself up for a breath at the bottom. And then find a shape that is conducive to stillness. That might be a traditional savasana today. That might look slightly different. Something that I've been highlighting in my in-person classes and even in my own practice is this idea of sacred rest. Even in the Judeo-Christian creation story, the creator of the universe rested. At some point, the great creator said, "It's good enough." So let what you did today on your mat be good enough. Let your body be still. You're welcome to let this stillness linger and spend the next several minutes in a resting shape. For now, I will bid you adieu, finding your way up into a seat when your stillness is done. Take a moment to bring your hands somewhere under your body and just acknowledge the work that you did, the effort it took to show up. And I know it's especially hard to stay focused in an online class. So if you made it to the end, thank you and thank yourself. We'll take a breath together, exhaling all the air out, SH. Inhaling to fill up. Release. Thank you. Have a beautiful rest of whatever day it is for you, and I'll catch you soon. Thanks for moving with me.